Number one reason you are not making content because you're making it too hard for yourself to make content. You need to make it easier for yourself to make content, what I call low effort content. This is the advice that I wish anyone had talked about when I started creating content so many years ago. And it's the reason why I didn't get consistent, why I didn't grow, and why I kept shooting myself in my own foot whenever I got a new camera, whenever I turned it on. And here's the thing, your content should be easy and low effort in three key areas. First of all, it needs to be low effort to make. This is so key. Whatever you do with whatever camera, it could be your smartphone, it could be something super fancy, but whatever you end up trying to do, it should be low effort for you to make, where you're at with what you have and what you're able to do. If it's not low effort for you to make, guess what's going to happen? You're not going to make it well or consistently. Consistent is a key goal that almost nobody accounts for when they think about creating content, be it for their business or personal brand or for, I don't know, a brick and mortar shop, whatever it is. People don't think enough about, can I make this content every day, every week? I am settling into a new routine where I can create content every single day. And it has been something else for me altogether because I finally found a way that's really low effort for me. And I'll make another video about that. The link will be in the description. But it's basically one camera, one take, no edits. That's really, really key for me. And that actually segues into the second point perfectly. It should be low effort for you to edit. These two go hand in hand because that's another thing. People don't anticipate being such a major drain. And the honest truth is, if you are not a professional video editor, if you don't live, eat, and breathe this stuff, no matter what AI app you're using, and there are some really, really good ones, but even with an app like Descript, which is still my favorite, and I still use it for many things, CapCut, which is also a favorite of mine, and I will do the final, will I even touch it? I'm not sure. But I do some final touch-ups in CapCut. But it's really stuff like I shot the video, I made the video in 1080p, which is a lower resolution, lower quality, but it's actually pretty much fine. But sometimes I'll do what they call an upscale, and I'll make it into 4K with AI. But honestly, this is all distractions. The core of everything you make should be, can you make something that speaks to one person about one problem or question with every one piece of content you make? And everything else that distracts you from that is exactly that. It's a distraction. And it needs to be treated as such. It needs to be avoided. Oh my gosh, there's random stuff in the corner of the room, and that is a distraction from you watching the video. It's just like that. That's actually kind of perfect. There's stuff in the corner. That's what all these other things are. It's that stuff in the corner, keeping the focus off of the thing that you're actually trying to make. I'm here on vacation. I am in Washington at my in-laws. And that's why this setup too, the making setup is so very important. This wireless microphone, this little action camera, and the tripod. This whole setup is ballpark $300. It cost even less because I already owned this mic from another fancier setup, but it's all DJI stuff except for the tripod and mount. But having a workflow that you can set up at a moment's notice, because especially on vacation, you never know when you're going to be free, but you want to make stuff, but you don't want to spend a lot of time. So far, I've spent about 15 minutes on this, including getting my lovely little toddler in check. Hello? Shh, yeah, be quiet. So, oh, that's amazing. He's telling me to be quiet. But the very last thing, and this is the most important one, is make your content easy to publish. if you have a workflow that takes extra steps and they're hard, again, you might not make those final steps. If it feels like a drag, you might not go ahead and do it. And that's why you don't want things to feel like a drag. You don't want things to take extra effort if they don't have to. Every little extra bit of friction keeps you from loving the process. And that's actually one of the biggest goals. Can you learn to fall in love with this process? The creative process is something that, if you haven't been in this space before, is the most likely part to wreck you. There is resistance at every corner. But if you can make it easy to publish the video, and that includes the other things that no one thinks about, the thumbnail, the title, and the description, and putting any relevant links. Those are 4 key areas that I would say you'd want. Honestly, I do have ChatGPT do the description for me. I'll just talk to ChatGPT and I'll tell it what the main points of the video were. I actually have it sitting on this table. I wear sunglasses so you can't see me looking behind the camera at this instead of at the camera. So it just always looks like I'm looking at the camera, but really I'm looking way over here. But I got my notes on the table. Low effort. I wrote it with an orange pencil because that's what I had. And it's not the easiest to read, but low effort content, make, edit, publish. Someone asked me, why low effort content? And the reason is simple. You don't want friction. And by the way, most of your content should be low effort. It sounds so terrible to say. But if you're putting too much effort into your content, you're putting too much effort into your content and you're not going to keep it up. The goal is not to make one beautiful piece of content, especially the way things are these days on Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, TikTok, Facebook. The goal is to be present, not perfect. You'll get so much more mileage out of being a present person on these platforms than you will out of making perfect content. And by the way, it's never really perfect after all. So 90% of your content should be, in my opinion, low effort for you to make. Yes, there is a place for high effort content that does not fit one or more of these 3 categories. It's important. Like, I made a video on this trip that was actually not low effort for me. It did involve more editing. It was kind of a road trip vlog kind of video. I'll put the link in the description below. And it came out really beautifully, in my opinion, but it was not perfect. That wasn't the goal, but it was different. And because it was different, it was not low effort to edit. It was pretty effortless to make. It was pretty effortless to publish. So at least it was only 1 friction point out of those 3. However, that editing process probably took about, I would estimate, 2 hours. And I did all the whole edit on my phone. But that's the thing. That's all extra steps, right? So because of that, you might want to avoid that as much as possible. Because the other thing, especially if you're a beginning content creator, and what do I define as beginner? You haven't made your first 100 bad videos yet. 100. In my opinion, I'm actually kind of a beginner still. That's one thing I've learned. In my most recent run of videos, I am about 50-ish videos in, but in my most recent attempt to make 100 bad videos by making a daily video, this is only I think it's the 8th video, and I'm doing the 9th video concurrently because I'm shooting myself with another camera on that windowsill to show how I make these videos. But that all being said, until you hit that flow, you want these to be as low effort as possible so you can just get them out there. Because especially at this point, it's not about going viral, but it's about finding your flow and finding your people. Because if someone will watch your early videos and enjoy them, they are most definitely your people. There's an idea, an old one, 1,000 true fans. If you can find 1,000 true fans who will buy anything that you ever make, you're done. Well, I will tell you that anyone that is really in love with your content, then you haven't even hit your first 100 bad videos yet. They are a ride or die. They are one of those, most likely going to be one of your true fans, or they're going to introduce you to your true fans. But you're always just one piece of content away from one connection or one deal or one sale or one viral hit that could change your life. And that's why it's so worth it to make more low effort content than to make less high effort content. And if that resonates, you're going to watch the video about how I made this video, which will be right there where I'm pointing. And I'll see you there.